Hello, YouTube world. I was gonna come in for just a little bit and talk about the Strandberg Boden 8 original, and I just wanted to do a quick little review on it. It's an amazing instrument, and there's not a whole lot of reviews specifically on the 8-string models on YouTube. So I just kind of wanted to go over the specs real quick and maybe give like a little quick demo to show you how it sounds. What I really love about this guitar is how lightweight it is. It's not toy-like, maybe like the six-string standard or Strandbergs would maybe feel. Although those are wonderful guitars as well. Being that it is the original, it's chambered, unlike the standard models, which are just solid bodies. So we got a flame maple top, swamp ash body chambered, and roasted maple neck, and bird's eye maple fretboard. It's really, really nice. The entire thing is really nice. It is active pickups, these Fishman Modern active Fluence pickups, and they're really, really good. At first, I was kind of not so sure because of how hot they are, but what's really nice is there's this passive setting, so it's like a second voice to the pickup, which is really nice. And then, I'm not like the biggest fan of this type of single coil split, but that's where your single coil split is on the volume knob. I would rather have a 5-way switch. That's just me, but it's really not that big of a deal. So the pros of this guitar are really one. It's extremely lightweight. Um, it's really, really nice to play. It just feels really good. Stainless steel frets. It's just really smooth all over the place, all over the board. The Endure neck is rounded off on the edges on these models. I don't know if the camera will really pick that up like I'm telling you it is, but the Endure neck's really rounded off on these original models, whereas the OS and the previous Strandberg models were somewhat more of an edge, and maybe that was kind of annoying. I remember playing an OS model a few years back and not really falling in love with the idea of the Endure neck, but now that I've been playing it for about a month, I really see the potential of just how useful it can be, especially for fatigue, muscle fatigue, etc. So this is the 8-string model. I just have it tuned to standard. It's really nice. It doesn't really feel like other 8 strings to where you pick it up and it's kind of like playing a surfboard with strings on it. This really felt natural upon first picking it up, and I really love that about it. It sounds incredible. Like I said, the pickups are active, but it takes a little bit of tweaking on your amp settings if you're used to passive. I definitely play metal and prog and stuff like that in gent. That's why I got the 8-string. But I'm mostly into like fusion and maybe more like jazz fusion players and stuff like that. But it really picks up that style extremely well. Yeah, really no complaints in the sound department. It's really, really just an amazing instrument. It is pricey, that's for sure. So when people ask, should I go with a Kiesel or a Strandberg? It's really just like this personal preference thing. I've played a few Kiesels, I've played a few Strandbergs. I'm glad I made this purchase, although it isn't perfect. And if I have one or two complaints about it, they're not necessarily deal breakers, but for a $2,400 guitar, it should be absolutely speckless. There should be nothing wrong with it at all. The quality control should be god level. So there is one qualm I have with this guitar, and it is unfortunate, but it's not worth sending back, in my opinion, because so what it is all the frets are perfect. The fret job is amazing. Everything's beveled off, totally smooth to the fretboard, except one little mistake. There's just this tiny notch. I'm not even going to try to show you because the camera won't be able to pick it up. This tiny little notch on the 0 fret. So if you can maybe you can kind of pick up that the string catches this tiny, almost insignificant little tool mark. So that kind of pissed me off. For a $2,400 guitar, every fret it should just be absolutely flawless. Other than that, this is one thing the internet's not really talking about when it comes to these guitars. Intonating the guitar is not all that fun, as opposed to a standard instrument with a normal bridge. Most bridges are like this. Maybe a Floyd or some things differ, but the string is at tension when you intonate it, and that makes it really easy because you can just kind of play the fret and then maybe take an Allen key or a screwdriver and really figure out where you want to intonate that note, right? Unfortunately, with the Strandberg and other headless, maybe not so much Kiesel, you have to completely loosen the string and move the bridge back physically rather than a screw or a spring changing the bridge position. So that took a minute getting used to, but once you figure it out, it's really nice. Um, Other than that, lowering the strings is really nice as well because it's just they're sitting on these little screw saddles, and so you can put the string at slack, and then yeah, you can just take the string off and then lower or heighten them. So that makes it actually pretty easy. I do appreciate that a lot. Yeah, I mean everything about this guitar, minus that tiny little detail and you know, maybe the intonation, is perfect. I don't really know what else to say about it. It's it's a wonderful design. And yeah, they are made overseas now, but you know, if you can find a good one, and I'm sure there's some bad eggs in the batch, I wouldn't consider this a bad egg by any means. It is really easy to play, really easy to work on, really easy to adjust the truss rod. So yeah, that's the Strandberg Boden 8 original. It's also not black. I don't know if the camera can see, but it's green. So